Are manhwas bad? Now, for whom it may concern, in Western countries like America, there's comic books, stories in colorful and simple formats. Japan's response to this, well, not really a response, is manga, black and white stories that you read in reverse. And then there's today's subject matter, manhwas, Korea's take on the whole matter. Often colorful and unlike its older cousins, it's mostly on mobile and you usually scroll for this. But for the weirdos who buys the books, they often follow the Western way of reading. Now, I don't want to get sidetracked or do a comparison video, trust me that one is coming soon. Today I want to focus on the question, are manhwas bad? Because there's people out there who will tell you that manhwas are trash, and here's one that shocked me, that manhwas are the slop of fiction. When I heard that one, I didn't know whether to laugh or to cry. Now, for a few minutes, unlike these people, let's give our brains some well-deserved exercises, shall we? Because even though I understand it, it's so foolish. The reason why they say this is somewhat understandable, because if you've seen Solo Leveling and decide to read the manhwa for some strange reason, then you have basically read, supposedly, 90% of manhwas. Another reason is because the stories are solely focused on the main character, and the main character has zero depth and development. And worse, he's this edgelord who has to always one-up everyone. And oh, this is my favorite one. Another reason I guess as to why people don't like manhwas is because everyone has the same face, or how because everyone is good looking and looks like a supermodel. I mean, that's just Korean culture, right? But if you think that wasn't dumb enough, just remember that there's always someone who can dig a new low. Because another reason I guess as to why people hate manhwa is because of its sheer volume. And to give you some perspective, whereas comic books and mangas will drop one chapter every month, manhwa tends to drop 1 or 2 chapters per week. And even though there seems to be more pages, but if you look closely enough and use your brain, it's not actually a lot of pages. And with its easy to consume format, this is basically TikTok but for comic books. Now, these are some of the reasons why people tend to dislike manhwas. And my response to this is, yeah, and now I know, but give me a second. Let me just season this for a bit. First up, every manhwa is a Solo Leveling copycat. And yes, but no, that's just generalization. It's like saying all black people steal, or like all white people are racist, and or Asians tend to eat dogs. While there are some people like that, that's not everyone. Similarly, while most manhwas try to copy Solo Leveling, that's not all of them. Cause I can put Solo Leveling next to Northern Blade and dare you to find any similarities, but you'll fail. So this is a garbage reason, and you will come to realize that generalization is the running theme for these manhwa haters. Cause yes, these generic main characters have zero depth and character development, but again, that's not all of them, and the same can be said about manga and comic book characters. Cause let's use Northern Blade and Solo Leveling for example. In both characters lose their father, Jinwoo, twice. With Jinwoo though, other than him getting angry and getting his revenge, we don't see much change in his character. Jin on the other hand embarks on this anger-driven journey, and we see multiple instances where he grows as a character and ultimately has a happy ending, with none, and I mean okay, maybe some, of the edgelord tendencies. And this is proof that, like with every story, irregardless of the medium it's in, it is how the idea is executed that counts. If you say all manhwa is trash, then what about Northern Blade? If no, then it's not all manhwas now, is it? But if you say yes, then my guy, please remove your eyes, cause they're lying to you. If you cry that other characters aren't getting enough screen time, then read manhwas like Red Storm. Trust me, I'm putting you on. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. And I swear, Japan has or had a problem where the main characters were overly nice for no reason and were basically these walking doormats. But people were quick to point out that it was just a cultural difference, but they don't seem to consider that with Korea and manhwa. And then there's the fact that all of them look the same and look like supermodels. And honestly, I don't know what to tell you, my guy. That's basically the art style. And sure, yes, there are ways for the same art style to produce different looking people, but that's just time consuming, or a more dramatic word, it's expensive. And as for them being good looking, my guy, it's Korea. They have a beauty standard problem which forces I wouldn't say a large majority, but a small number of the population to seek out plastic surgery. Everyone chases the same beauty standard, and I could argue that the manhwas are just emulating that. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if everyone day looked like this in real life.
That's gotta be racist. There's no way.
And no, I didn't mean it like that. I meant that because of the plastic surgery, come on. Though I will agree with this guy on something. I'm also tired of these gods and system and shit. It's like, you see someone helping an old lady, and the bullshit god of old age or something suddenly takes interest in you. Like in that world, people don't be out here helping out old ladies for some reason. All of it is so contrived or false, and most of the manhwas follow this set recipe. If the biggest problem with anime studios is that they try and create an anime instead of a good story, then manhwas have the exact same problem. But my biggest problem with manhwa is that even the okay ones are just super basic, because even when something shocking is revealed, I'm not even surprised anymore because I saw it a mile away. And this also applies to the Muriam manhwas as well. Muriam. I don't know how to say that word. And as for the sheer volume thing, my guy, how can you get angry at someone who's working hard? They just have a good work ethic, come on. And to the guy who said that manhwa is a slop of fiction, my guy, the slop of fiction is the slop of fiction. It's not an entire medium. Just think of it as a scale that measures fictional work, or maybe a tier list. Anything can fall into it. Before I end this, I have a question that I must ask. I know that what people like to read is based on their tastes, likes, or whatever they prefer. That manhwa isn't hated because of specific objective reasons, because the alternatives tend to have those exact same problems but less of the ridicule. I can accept that, but what I cannot accept is the absurd reality that those with different tastes should be looked down upon and ridiculed because of that. That because of whatever reasons or compared to other alternatives, that which is inferior, I guess, should be unilaterally condemned. Because no group, whether it be a specific majority or faction with power, has the right to justify the hatred of others, especially since they don't hold that standard across the board. Because hold manga, anime, and comic books to that exact same standards. So my question is, why should manhwa, though it may objectively suck or be considered trash in people's eyes, why should it be subjectively tarnished just because it's different? And what I find very ironic is that back in the day, nerds used to get bullied by bullies because of this very reason, and now nerds are bullying other nerds because they're different. It truly is a funny world we live in, right? Anyway, I don't want to make this video any longer. If you want to join me on my journey, there's the sub button, and remember that bell notification, and well, that's all,
That's all,
folks.
folks.
Was I about to say that?
Is he allowed to say
Legally?
that? Legally?